The thing that I'm most concerned about when I get a new translation is voice. How do you do this act of ventriloquism where you're assuming somebody else's voice? And so I usually read between 20 and 40 pages to see if it's a book that I'm capable of doing. So there haven't been too many that I've looked at where I've said, I can't see how I'm going to be able to do that. Mostly at a certain stage it kicks in, something kicks in, and I think, oh yeah, I think I can handle this. I know where she's going with this or he's going with this. And then I try not to read too far ahead. And now, at this stage in my career, I'm willing to make a confession that I wasn't willing to make earlier. I had this whole theory that I used to tell people about how I don't read too far ahead in a book that I'm translating because I like to keep it fresh, so I keep 20 pages ahead. The truth is, reading in Hebrew takes me so long that I could never finish a book before I started translating it. It just took me too long. So I made up this whole theory about it, that sounded good. Subconsciously, of course, I made up this theory. But it actually makes a lot of sense. I like being able to keep fresh about the book that I'm translating until, kind of keep the suspense of it and see where it's going. And in terms of the process, what I do is the first stage that I translate a book, I work through it I stay as close as possible to the text. So in other words, I've got the Hebrew in mind all the time, and that I sacrifice the English syntax. It won't necessarily read like a good English sentence, because I'm not worried about it at that stage. When I go back over it the second time, and I'm what I call revising it or editing it, I'm now looking at it through a pair of English reading eyes, where the Hebrew is no longer important to me. Okay, because I'm a writer as well, I know that good writers, every single word is there because they put it there. And so I have to respect that. But the second stage is, they also want me to make it a book that can be read in English, and you're not going to stumble over things all the time. The only trick to that is that at the same time, I want to keep an element of the exotic to it, because if I go too far with it, it'll sound like an American book written by an American, and that's also not what I want it to be. So it's kind of juggling all these things, and bottom line is, translation is an imperfect art. We should all be reading every book in the original language, and of course we can't do that.